Hi, I'm Cailey. I'm a librarian at Mentor Public Library.
And I'm Meg, also a librarian at Mentor Public Library, and welcome to All Booked Up with Cailey and Meg. Each week, we've been going over different book recommendations related to a different theme. This week's theme is going to be teen summer love. So all those books that, with a little summer romance in it, those are what we're going to be going over today.
Yes, and all of the books that we're talking about today are available through the library free digitally by accessing Libby by Overdrive or Hoopla. You can also give us a call to have us hold the physical copies for you at any one of our branches. And Meg, you're up first. What is your first summer romance?
Yeah, so my first book is called Royally Lost by Angie Stanton. So this is a kind of a mix of a summer love book. Also has a little bit of fantasy elements in a way, because it's about a pretend country. There's this guy named Nikolai, and he's the crown prince of this country in Europe. It's like a European country, and he has all these duties that he has to do every day. And he loves it on one hand, but on the other hand, he feels like he doesn't have any freedom to do what he wants to do. So one day, when there's like a little gap in his schedule, he actually runs away from his family and his kingdom, and he goes to some of these little like Rome and Paris, and goes to some of these, and in one of them he meets a girl named Becca. Now Becca has come to Europe for a summer vacation with her family. She's come with her dad, her stepmom, and her brother. And she's kind of down because even as exciting as this summer vacation is, her dad's always been a little emotionally distant. She kind of has an icy relationship with her stepmom, and mother just wants to party. And she's kind of like, I want to actually see some of the culture, some of the sights in these cities. So she kind of feels alone based off of what she wants to do. So when she meets Nikolai, she's so excited because he wants to show her all these cool things that he knows about. So they go on all these cute adventures together. They see the sights, but it's very short-lived because her family is actually going back to the States in just a couple days. So there's kind of this tension. They have this short time together where they're having all this fun, but then it's like, her family's going back to America, and then for him, Nikolai, he has to decide, where is the role of duty in his life, and is he going to tell his parents about Becca, or is he just going to go back to what he did before? That's a cute one. A lot of big decisions that both of those characters have to make.
Very Roman Holiday.
Yes, that is exactly, very similar to Roman Holiday. If any of you've seen that old movie, that's a great movie to watch as well this summer.
Yes. We're giving movie recommendations now too. Well, my first book is called Along for the Ride by Sarah Dessen.
Okay.
It's a little bit older, came out about 10 years ago, but Sarah Dessen is like quintessential summer romance in teen literature.
Yes.
And she's been writing for quite some time, and I have read everything she's ever written. So I'm a fan. And I got to meet her once at ALA. It was awesome. So this book is about a teen girl named Auden. Both of her parents are professors at this elite college, and she never really felt like a kid. She's always been kind of treated almost more adult than she is because of the way her parents behave. But everything has really changed for her in the last few years. Her parents got divorced. Her dad had remarried a much younger woman, and they have a new baby. And this summer, Auden is supposed to go and spend the summer at this beach town that her father has moved to, and stay with them and get to know his new family, I suppose. Right. And she's not very happy about that because, she wanted to have her own free summer. But she goes to this town and she doesn't fit in. And she begins working at her new stepmom's store, which is on this like beachy boardwalk kind of thing. But she starts to acclimate some. Mm-hmm. One thing though is that she suffers from insomnia. She is up late hours of the night. She can't sleep. And so she starts kind of going out, wandering around town. And while doing that, she encounters Eli, who is also someone who is sort of insomniac. And Eli finds out that Auden is like not the typical girl because she's never experienced all these things that are like essential childhood or early teenhood sort of milestones, including that she does not know how to ride a bike. And so Eli sort of takes it upon himself to make sure that she can experience all of these things, silly though they may be, and they do this in the middle of the night. So Auden is kind of straddling two different worlds here because like her daylight actions don't necessarily translate to the evening, but along the way, her and Eli become closer and start something up, and it's an interesting book because it's definitely, I would say it's definitely a teen romance, but it tackles a lot of like teen issues and things that teens would be dealing with today, including like friendships and fitting in and changing family dynamics and stuff.
Yeah, that sounds really cute. I love the whole idea of like, that's such a unique like insomnia and like two people bonding over that is so adorable to me for some reason. But yeah, my next book is also kind of, and I've noticed kind of some of the ones that we picked have been about like the way relationships make you come out of your shell a little bit or help you learn new things. So this is kind of in that same vein as well. It's called Yes, No, Maybe So. And it's written by two authors, Becky Albertalli and Aisha Saeed. I'm sorry, excuse me. So they co-wrote it, and so they each write from the perspective of one of the characters. So the two characters in this book are Jamie and Maya. So Jamie comes from a Jewish family, and he is really involved in politics. And actually, that's kind of one of the cool things about this book. They both are kind of involved in their like student government and things like this. So this book is like on the cusp of summer. So summer's about to start, and Jamie decides he wants to help his local state Senate candidate on the campaign trail. And he actually gets an opportunity to volunteer and help on the campaign trail. But he's actually, as much as he wants to be involved in, actually very shy. He doesn't like doing more of the social parts that his work would involve, such as like going door to door and talking to people. Like he's very shy around strangers. But then he gets teamed up with this girl named Maya, another teen, and Maya is also part of this campaign trail. But she is super outgoing, and she kind of gets him out of his shell, and he's kind of dreading being teamed with her for this because she's like, I'm the opposite of her. We're totally different. She wants to go up and meet people. I don't want to do that. So it's kind of cute seeing how they do this together over the summer. And her family background, she's Muslim, and her family, so it's kind of like, he's Jewish, she's Muslim, so it's kind of about their different, family, as they become closer, and like how their families interact with each other is kind of interesting to look at as well. So that's a cool summer read from kind of a unique angle, I thought, with the politics and all that.
Yeah. And I have heard great things about both of those authors, so I'm sure kind of joining up is an interesting take. And I love when there are those two different authors writing two different voices. It makes it feel so much more authentic.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Well, the next book that I have is called When Summer Ends by Jessica Pennington. And this is also told from two different perspectives, one author, but two different perspectives. It's still good. And it is about Aiden and Olivia. And Aiden was like the town golden boy. He's like awesome at baseball, star of the team. But he quits suddenly at the end of his junior year, right before summer. And it doesn't tell anyone why. So he's sort of outcast at this point. And then Olivia is very type A, planner for everything. She has plans for everything, and she had thought she was going to be doing this perfect summer internship, but it falls through. So both of them are sort of left floundering for what they're going to do for the summer, and they both wind up working at this like tourist hotspot together.
Right.
And the book sort of throws them together, and they both kind of know who the other person is because they go to the same school,
Right.
but they both don't actually know the other, and they kind of are thrown together and learn that, like, oh my gosh, we definitely didn't have the right idea. Like, you know, the stereotypes of the jock and the nerd and that kind of thing. And together they kind of work together to change their futures, if you will. Both have been like on certain tracks up until now, and since there was this huge wrench thrown into both of their plans, they are now trying to figure out what their future will be, and have sort of decided that maybe planning everything isn't the best, and start to live life day to day, including even like flipping a coin to make some choices kind of thing, which is really sweet. And the two of them have like the cutest little love story. But there's also sort of this impending deadline on their love story as well, because, you know, this is the summer between their junior and senior years, and everything is going to change. And so it's a really cool analysis to me, almost of like that time period in life where these teens are thrown into this idea that they have to make all of these life choices right now. And there's all this pressure on teens to do that, but at the same time, like, living day to day can just be delightful at times, and they find out all sorts of little magical things that can happen when they take chances.
Oh, that's adorable. Yeah, and as someone who, I mean, I definitely know I can be prone to overthink things, and I totally get that. And I think teens feel like in that situation, especially like you said, with all the big events that are coming up as they get older. So that definitely sounds like a good one. So yeah, thank you guys for listening to All Booked Up with Cailey and Meg. We are actually going to take a break next week for 4th of July, but we'll be right back up the next week. The theme after that is going to be, we're going to go back with adult books, looking at fiction books that take place in another country. So if you like those books that take you to another world, a different culture, that's going to be what we're going to be looking at.
Yes. So join us next week for that. If you haven't already, make sure you get a bingo sheet for the summer reading program at any one of our branches or online at mentorpl.org/summerreading2020. And other than that, we hope to see you at the library this summer. Happy reading.